Hey, hi.
Welcome to Off the Record B-side. Get it? Like the B-side, B-side? Yeah. This is where we're going to take a little detour from our regular programming, which is regularly off the record. And we're going to do a little detour show.
On this show, this time, we're going to look at our favorites of 2024. So we're going to look at our favorite album of the year, and we're going to look at our top 10 favorite songs of 2024.
So we just make a list of our favorite top 10 songs of the year, 2024, and then we send it to each other, and then we make a few little things like, oh, I think this is Bill's favorite, or oh, I think Nikki just made this one up. And then we see at the end of the show what happens next.
And then at the end, Nikki and I will pick, if we have any favorites or things we liked off each other's list, then we'll look at that as well.
Like, one of these things is not like the other. Okay, well, let's get on with it. Why wait? So remember, we both have really different tastes in music, like opposites, like black and white, like square and circle.
But we both love music like crazy.
We do. So let's start. Bill, why don't you give us your number 10? Start with you.
Okay, so my number 10, singer I really like, it's Orville Peck, and it is the song The Hurt and Kind, which he does on his Stampede album. He does a duet album. This was really the only song that I really liked a lot. I like this band Midland. They're kind of a country bar band, and they all sing, but they all harmonize really well together. I think a lot of times Orville Peck has a voice that's very unique. He's like a musical theater Johnny Cash kind of voice to him. So these singers kind of fit with him. I don't know why, just the harmonies are beautiful, and the topic of the song, kind of losers looking for a place to go and just accepting each other for what they are. And it's kind of sad, but it's also kind of uplifting at the same time.
Okay, my number 10 on my list was from an album called Leon and a song called Laredo and a guy called Leon Bridges. And I really love this album. I think it's kind of cool. He's got it's a real soul-y vibe. Like it's kind of a 70s soul vibe. And he's like kind of unusual, not what you would expect. And it's a bit mellow, but I like it. I'd put it in my top 10.
I really liked his voice a lot, I gotta tell you. That was the first one that kind of stood out to me on your list. My number 9 is Green Day with a song called Bobby Socks.
Okay.
And I'm not a big Green Day person, although I've always kind of liked them. But this song is like just really the most fun song of the year to me. And it's kind of the song you scream in your car, and it's got that bisexual vibe going on. But it's really well produced, and I don't know, I just really like the music, and it's kind of my nostalgic rock out song of the year.
I know you kind of like that kind of, there was a couple of songs on your top 10 that I thought were similar to Green Day-ish, so not surprised.
Yeah.
Okay, my number 9 was Brittany Howard, live from Austin City Limits, and it's called What Now? And I really think this is interesting that of the 10 of my favorite songs, the same drummer, Nate Smith, is on 2 of them. And so he's on this one with her too. And Brittany Howard used to be Alabama Shakes. And we actually saw her in concert this year at Danforth Music Hall, and we loved it.
Yeah, she's amazing, eh?
Amazing. Come
on. My number 8 is Taste by Sabrina Carpenter. This was a weird song for me because I was like, normally I don't like such poppy pop songs like that. This song is the best pop song of the year. I think it's incredibly well produced, and it's a little revengeful in it, and it's fun. But yeah, for sure that's an odd thing for me to pick that song, but I really like it. I have no idea why, but it's just really fun and nice and kind of glossy.
Can I tell you now that I actually thought that was your fake song?
I know everyone I showed that to, they're like, that's your fake one. I'm like, no.
I'm like,
I love that song.
No musicians, totally computer music. That's his fake one.
But if you listen to it, I mean, it's really well crafted, that song, especially if you listen on headphones. It is awesome.
All right. My number 8 was Gary Clark Jr. JPEG Raw is the album, and the song that I liked is Habits. I like Gary Clark Jr. I think he's amazing. Like, first of all, he's an amazing guitarist. I went to see him this year too at History, which is a really great club in Toronto that Drake actually started. And it's so cool. It's like a really cool space to see someone. And he's got this great vibe, and Habits is a really neat song.
My number 7 is a band called Stone, one of the Liverpool bands. And I really got into Stone at the beginning of the year, and they had another song called Queen that I really like, but this one, My Thoughts Go. This song just really uplifting to me. It's kind of the, what did I do last night drunkenly, next morning feeling. But yeah, this song really gets under my skin and makes me really happy.
Okay, that was your number 7.
Yeah.
My number 7, I hate musicals, but
Wicked.
This is my favorite musical. And then this year it became a movie. And so it's from the soundtrack, Wicked, the soundtrack. And it's Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo. And I just it makes me cry. The song makes me cry. I love it so much. And I had no idea that I would like Ariana Grande so much, but I love her. She's so funny. What a beautiful voice. And never mind, Cynthia's voice, kicks the drums, you know?
Okay, my number 6 is Lil Nas X, Light Again. I love Lil Nas X. This was my favorite song of his of the year. I wish he would put an album out soon. He's just really fun. And this song to me is about, you've got very little time and you want to make the most of it. So you've really got to act quick and you've got to get everyone on board for it. And let's go, let's party. A lot of my songs are about partying.
Maybe you live in
What is that? But
you live in a small town, that's why.
Is that what it is? Yeah. Because I'm not used to partying all the time. But yeah, that song's got everything in it. It's got a tiny bit of R&B, but a little bit of rap, and it's got some echoey psychedelic stuff in it, but it's a really fun dance song.
Okay, my number 6. I think my taste has really changed over the last few years for sure too. Was Chris Stapleton and Dua Lipa.
Oh.
What?
I thought that was your fake one.
You did know. I love this song. Love this song. It's number 6 for me. Okay. Think I'm in Love with You, and it's from the ACM Awards, the 59th ACM Awards live. And I don't know if you watched that. I guess you wouldn't because you don't like country, but I love his voice so much. He did this song, and I think you and I have talked about it before, Tennessee Whiskey, and
he does have a great voice.
He's just got such a great voice, and I love Dua Lipa too. So it was a nice combo, the two of them together. I don't know if you listened to it, but I actually love his music, and this is one of my favorite songs of his. So
I do like him more than most, I gotta say, for country music. Yeah, I just thought that song was very karaoke with good voices. That's why I thought you faked it. I thought that was one of your songs.
I love that song.
Okay, all right. So getting into the top 5 here, my number 5 song is Your Apartment by Wallows. I obsessed with that song at the beginning part of the year. I almost forgot about it. It's hard to go back to 2024, right to the end, for that feeling of how you felt in this song. I love that the verses were really kind of soft and quiet, and then the chorus gets extremely dramatic all of a sudden. I love that band. That's a really good indie band as well. That guy he was on the TV show 13 Reasons Why. He was a big actor, a kid actor, and then he just started this band, and he's like, I'm done with acting because I love this band. And I'm like, yeah, stay with the band. It's good.
Wallows.
Wallows. Yeah.
And I thought this was a bit Green Day-ish as well, just by the way.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we do have our certain taste, right? You're very bluesy R&B. Yeah. I'm very indie pop. That's my thing, right? I like pop music and indie music.
Yeah.
So the indie music's more towards the top, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, my number 5 was one of the most beautiful songs I've ever heard, by a guy called Michael Mayo, and it's called an album called Fly, and it's called Bag of Bones. And
love that song.
It's so beautiful, and he's got such a beautiful voice. And then, so I found this song album because of Shy Maestro, who plays the piano, and I love Shy Maestro. He's an Israeli piano player, and sometimes we just go to bed just listening to Shy Maestro play piano, and he plays on this. So I think Michael Mayo put together this album with the most incredible musicians. So it's Shy Maestro and Linda O on bass. And she was amazing too. Like, this is such a beautiful album, the whole thing. I could have picked a bunch of songs from it. So.
I thought he was playing the piano while he was singing. I thought that's who he was. I didn't really know. But I love that song too.
Yeah.
Gotta say. That was one of the first ones I really liked as well. My number 4 is a woman called Clairo. And the song is Sexy to Someone. And I found that just sort of searching indie music out on Spotify. And that seems to be a big song in a lot of indie playlists this year as one of the best songs of the year, which was kind of cool. I love the music. It's very kind of sultry, but it's not typical. And I like the lyrics that it's always about finding, something sexy in life and a reason to get out of the bed. And that's her reason to get up and get out of the bed. I love her vocals. I think she's really cool. Her influences are Al Green and the Cocteau Twins, and you can kind of hear both those things kind of coming together in that song. So that's number 4, Clairo.
I like that song a lot. I thought it was really nice song, sort of a sad voice she has. And I thought it was really cool. It would be good for summer driving music.
Yeah, I don't know why. I'm obsessed with that song.
Yeah, I like it. I can see why. I like that song a lot too. Okay. My number 4 was Jacob Collier, Bridge Over Troubled Waters, from his album Jesse 4. And I don't know if you know Jacob, but like, he is maybe the most brilliant musician of our generation of in the last 100 years. He's incredible. He's so young.
Is he better than Green Day?
Yeah. And this album, Jesse 4, he put together filled with musicians. Amazing voices. It's a lot of voices. He even has a song on this album called 10,000 Voices, which is incredible. This was on everybody's list for incredible, but voices. It's a big voice album. He doesn't always do the voices. This one was.
My number 3 is another guy from the UK. Didn't know. I thought he was from California because it's kind of surf loser punk, he calls himself, and it's Tooth Gore is his name. Okay. And it's a song called No Fighting in Doo-Wop. And I love his voice. He loves doo-wop and surf music. And I'm like, what a great combo. But his voice, it's really cool without trying too hard and too affected and too overproduced. And I love that he swears in the chorus as part of the chorus rather than just randomly swearing, which, I don't like. But he uses it as part of the chorus every time. But yeah, that's number 3. I love that song. Can't stop listening to it. Love the guitar, love the rawness of it. But it's almost like a Johnny Cash kind of voice without trying too hard.
I thought it was a bit Morrissey.
Yeah, maybe a bit Morrissey too. Yeah, I mean, we all draw from the same people that we like, right? Yeah. Like when I hear someone who sounds like Susie Banshees, I'm like, that sounds really good. Yeah. I'm like, oh, that's why. That's right?
Well, my number 3 was someone called Tony Ivan O'Hara. And the album is called Harder Times, and the song is called Mess With My Blues. And of course I like this because, he's my brother. And you didn't even know. I love that. Anyway, that's okay. You can still say what you think. You should still say what you think. I like that song. I love his voice so much. And this song actually really affects me. I don't know. I just love how down and out it is in some ways. Anyway.
Okay. No, I actually thought I picked that. I guess I can say that now. I picked that as your number 1. I thought that was going to be your number 1 choice. So.
And you liked it?
It's not my thing. Yeah. But I thought it was good. Bluesy. But it's not my thing.
Yeah. I think his voice is incredible, and it just reminds me like of an old blues guy from like Nashville or something. Like, I love his voice. He's so dirty. It's such a dirty voice, I love it. And of course, I think musicians are great. So.
Okay. My number 2 is Charlie XCX and the song Apple. which was my song of the summer for sure on all the beaches I went to, which was two. But it's really cool. Like I would say more poppy than alt, but it's certainly alt pop. Like it's not mainstream pop. That album is not mainstream pop, but it's fun, uplifting, crazy vocals, crazy backing vocals. I mean, she talks about, using the auto tune, the whole thing. Like that's not a secret, but you can tell there's real intricacy put into that album and that song. First time I heard that album, I thought this has to be the single off the album, even though it wasn't at the time, but it was such a great song. I still think that's a great song.
I had that as your number one.
Did you?
So I was close, but
You're close.
yeah, and everyone loves her. I mean, she's certainly.
I love her.
Yeah,
love her.
Everybody loves her, so I can see why you do. It's popular. Yeah. Okay, so my number two was Tony Smith, who is my partner. And the album is called Vamp on That, and the band is Drayton. And this song is called Claudia, and it's about Tony's sister, who died, and she was a really good friend of mine, and so I'm sure that's part of what I love. And yeah, she's also a friend of yours.
I love Claudia.
Yeah,
love Claudia.
everybody. Yeah, Claudia was like no one else, and I love this song too. It's really tragically wonderful, and it was born out of a feeling that came when we found out the day after she left the earth. And so I love this song. It's so beautiful to me.
Yeah. I really liked it too. It was nice. And I also like his album cover of Your Basement. Is that correct?
Yeah.
I love that. I was like, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's time for Nikki and I to reveal our number one picks of the best song of 2024. Okay. Let's have a drum roll. Okay.
Wow.
So mine is a song by the band The Wombats, another British band from Liverpool. I think I'm pretty sure they're from Liverpool. I hope I didn't get to screw that up. There's so many. Blood on the Hospital Floor by The Wombats. This song just came out, I think, in December. I heard another song by them called Sorry I'm Late, I didn't want to come. And I loved that song. And I was like, I wonder if they have anything else. And then I found that and I was like, oh my God, I'm obsessed with that song still. To me, that is like awesome psychedelic pop, but it's got dark lyrics. And it's you can hear every instrument. Nothing's muddled in the mix, which drives me a little crazy sometimes. And one of my favorite parts of the song, I mean, the lyrics are really cool, but the bridge, when it gets to the bridge, it sort of just settles down and kind of smooths out with this kind of distorted guitar, and then goes back to crazy song again. And I still love that song. Such a cool song.
I put it down as one of my top two that I liked of yours.
Oh, did you? Good.
Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was a great song, and yeah, I liked it. Great
cool.
Song.
Good. I'm glad you liked one of mine.
Yeah, I liked a couple. Well, it turns out I also liked your fake one. Hilarious.
So, yeah, go ahead, Nikki. Do your number one.
Okay, so my number one is a song called Old Dutch by Bonnie Lighthorseman.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and the album is Keep Me on Your Mind, See Me Free, which is like the first song and the last song of the album. There's 16 songs. This is for sure my favorite album of the year. I think it's incredible. The musicians on this album are like no one else. The three of them together are incredible. She has the weirdest little squeak and a weird little voice. I love the voice. It's so unusual. And he has the most stunning voice as well. And he plays in another band called the Fruit Bats.
Oh, yeah. The Fruit Bats.
Yeah, and
that's the band you were talking about.
Eric D. Johnson, yeah. I would go travel across the country to see them. We can't wait to see them again.
Cool.
I was transfixed by this band.
That's interesting. I thought your song was going to be the Decemberists' Burial Ground.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know that was going to be the song that you didn't like, or you didn't. Yeah. You probably don't dislike it, right? It's not one of your favorites.
Yeah, it's not one of my favorites. And they did come out with that new album this year, and I have loved the Decemberists. And I actually flew to Portland to see the Decemberists.
Oh, wow.
But that was a few years ago. And this album, I just kind of feel like it's just like a redo of another bunch of old albums. So
I was going to pick that as the song the fake one, but then they have that big trumpet solo, and I thought Nikki likes brass, so that's probably why she likes this song. And
Yeah.
I liked it. I liked it because I thought he was saying merry-go-round, and then I'm like, oh, it's burial ground. So then it gets a little gothy on me, right? But I
Yeah.
kind of like the Decemberists too. Like I like them more in probably early 2000s, I guess.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And then you were Geordie Greep with me.
Yeah.
I got to be honest, I love the music in that song. I
Yeah.
cannot handle the crazy vocals on top of the crazy music. That's the only reason. Like, I think he's really great,
Yeah.
but the combo of those two things together always annoys me a little bit when the music's manic and then the singing's manic and yeah.
I
But
loved it. He's another Brit.
it's
And I didn't know about him at all, but then when I listened to it, and Tony was like, "Oh yeah, this is on a lot of music lovers. This is on the top of their list."
yeah, it's a huge song this year because it's really kind of unusual too, right? It's
Mm.
interesting. You can tell there's great musicians
Mm.
in this song. But yeah, it's a bit too long for me. Manic, long, a little too crazy for me. So now we're going to get to our album of the year. And I think we probably know which way we're going with this, but let's start with Nikki.
So my favorite album of the year is Bonnie Lighthorseman. We Can't Stop. Keep Me on Your Mind, CB Free. I can't stop listening. I'll give you another little bit about it. They recorded it live at a funny pub in Cork in Ireland. And the album cover, which is a really terrible painting of a girl's face, was a painting on the wall that they stared at every day when they were recording. Okay, so on that album too, like if you want to just have a listen, I would say listen to Your Arms All the Time, which is so beautiful. And When I Was Younger. And I mean, I love all the songs. Lover, Take It Easy. I love that song. Those are a few of my faves.
Cool. My album of the year is, what do you think it is? You have an idea at this point?
I thought it was probably going to be the Charlie.
It's Charlie XCX. Yeah, Brat. I think it's the most fun album of the year. Pitchfork gave it an 8.6, which anything over 8 on Pitchfork is pretty amazing. It's got the dance club pop of early 2000s, and it really blends really well. Like you've got a couple pop songs, then you've got club mixes, then you've got a little short, little slow songs to sort of break it up, and then it starts right back into the pop, and then the dance club, and then it's short again. It's a really fun, cool album. And it's kind of dirty and fun, and right? It's a great album.
Yeah. Don't you love, like, after this whole, whatever it is, 20 minutes, like, look at all the new music there is. Don't you like hate when people are like, oh, there's nothing good anymore. There's nothing new.
So much good new music.
Have a listen every year. It's so good.
Have a listen. You know? Like, I know people always like the stuff of their youth as well. Like, that's just natural, I think. It just means so much more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, you know, when people go, oh, the music today, it's like, it's as good as it ever was and it's bad as it ever was, right?
Better, more exciting.
Generation of the 80s, I think it's the best generation of music and the worst. Like there's so much horrible music of the 80s, but there's so much great music. It's the same with any generation, right? Anyway, so that's cool. That's great. So that's our wrap up for 2024. Okay. We'll see you guys in a bit. That's our B-side show, and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
B-side.
Flip it over.